Hey everyone, my name is Maya Gabriel. I'm a singer-songwriter from Markham, Ontario, and I wanted to thank the City of Toronto and the Mayor for having me tonight. Congratulations to all of the award winners. Tonight I'm going to be performing a song that I wrote called Not Over Yet. It's essentially about overcoming adversity, not giving up, and persevering. So, hope you like it. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Sometimes you feel like your world is caving in, and sometimes it's just so hard to fake a grin. But darling, you can make it through. And darling, I will be there with you. I know it's easy to just give up when you're on the ground and you've had enough. Just don't forget, it's not over yet. They say it's always darkest before the dawn, but I know your fight can be won. So don't give up before it's begun. And I know that it's easier said than done, but a little faith can carry you. Just know that I'll always be there for you. No, darling, you can make it through. No, 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 no. And darling, I will be there with you. I know it's easy to just give up when you're on the ground and you've had enough. Just don't forget, it's not over yet. I know it's easy to just give in. 2 strikes at bat, you can take a swing. Just don't forget, when you're down and you're out and your mind's filled with doubt, don't forget, it's not over yet. When your feelings are hurt and you think life's the worst, don't forget, it's not over yet. When you feel all alone, no one answers the phone, feeling nothing but lost and you just need to talk, don't forget, it's not over yet. I know it's easy to just give up when you're on the ground and you've had enough. Just don't forget, it's not over yet. And I know it's easy to just give in. 2 strikes at bat, you can take a swing. No, no, just don't forget. Just don't forget. Just don't forget. Just don't forget. Oh, darling, don't forget, it's not over yet. Thank you so much. You can find me at _ Maya G Music on social media platforms and Maya Gabriel Music on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was fabulous. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 Mayor's Community Safety Awards ceremony. I am Serena Officer, and I'm the manager of the Community Safety and Wellbeing Unit here at the City of Toronto, and I am completely honored to be your Masters of Ceremony today. First, let me say thank you, Maya. That was a beautiful opening to our ceremony. Beautiful voice and those acoustic skills. I really appreciate those because I have none myself. So really thankful that you're able to be here with us this afternoon. So thank you. Before getting further along into our ceremony, we would like to share some key information with you for the guests who are joining us. The ceremony is being recorded and shall be shared later, both on the City of Toronto's website and YouTube channel. So for those who might be missing it or just want to celebrate again, you'll be able to view and share the links with your loved ones, friends, and neighbors. We also want to acknowledge as well, too, that in creating this space today, we recognize that some material in this ceremony deals with sensitive topics, and we'll be sharing powerful experiences that might affect you, perhaps even elicit some emotional responses. And that's okay. If you need to pause for yourself, take a moment, get some water, or catch your breath, please do so as you need to, and then rejoin us when you can. What we do want you to know is that there are some resources that are available to you should you want to reach out and connect with someone, whether it's today or in the days to come. There are resources that you can follow up with. As you can see on the screen beside me here, that you can call 211, where you can be connected to various resources and culturally appropriate resources as well, to 24/7. We also have our youth non-crisis peer support line that's available as well too, and as well as KIBS helpline, where you can text connect as well. So we have 3 options for you at any point in time. If you'd like to reach out to someone, they're there for you. Now, what I would like to do at this time is introduce one of our youth peers, Barry Fraser, who will read our Indigenous land acknowledgement and also share the African ancestral acknowledgement. Moment of reflections will follow by Jennifer Alicia and Rendell Ade.
We acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississauga of the Credit. The City of Toronto acknowledges all treaty peoples, including those who came here as settlers, as migrants either in this generation or in generations past, and those of us who came here involuntarily, particularly those brought to these lands as a result of the transatlantic slavery. We pay tribute to those ancestors of African origin and descent.
To be born Indigenous is to enter this world fists clenched, mouth agape, singing a song of freedom. Our first cry, a reminder that we are here, still, despite attempted extinction. To be born Indigenous is to be survivor, carrying the blood of thousands of ancestors who prayed into sacred fires and over graves. To be successor of legacy is to also be inheritor of intergenerational trauma, a gravitational force pushing on your shoulders, choking on your grandmother's mother tongue, swallowing songs of blood memory, walking gently on Turtle Island while chalk lines border our erasure. We've been here since time immemorial, and we will still be here despite the pushing and prodding. We are part of this land and sky and water and stars and sidewalks and parks, so we are home wherever we are, home on Native land. Do you know, honor, and respect the treaties and nations of the territory you stand? To be born Indigenous is to embody our ancestors' prayers, a seed planted 7 generations ago, our existence a blooming revolution, each breath an uprising, a reminder that we are part of the past, present, and future of this land, and 7 generations from now, we will still be here, thriving.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to give my My kudos to my colleague Jennifer for that incredible piece. And this speaks to the African land acknowledgement. If the ocean waves could speak, would they still remember stories of our ancestry? Do the ripple effects of colonialism still linger across the Atlantic? Have the ancestors who were once swallowed whole by its gaping mouth become one with the sea? Did the oceans make us mermaids in Atlantis? Does each tide wade like long lost memories? Do the shores still remember the ebb and flow of dark and shackled feet? Do the shores still recognize us as kings and queens? Or do the waters continue to baptize and save us in the name of colonialism? This colloquial tongue I speak is foreign to my ancestors who once spoke me into existence. I am a descendant of a bloodline that was scattered across the ocean. This once foreign tongue used to oppress me. It is a stolen tongue I now use to speak of my oppression, a language used to abuse and defy my nature, a system designed to wipe out my ancestral imprint with ignorance, a tool misused to propel the exploitations inflicted upon me, used to divide and conquer, used in a court of law I was then forced to honor. Laws of a stolen land are now used to govern stolen people, displaced on native soil. The English language may have colonized the borders of my tongue because the English language is oppressive in its very nature. It thrives on individualism and domination. But these words do not exist in my mother tongue. I come from a land that speaks in hollow drums and heartbeats, resurrected by our redemption songs of love and prophesied descendants. If the English language may have colonized the borders of my tongue, but Mama Africa still lives in each breath of my lungs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jafari, Jennifer, and Randall, for those important words. Language, grounding us, and the honest and beautiful reflections. Standing in solidarity. Thank you for being here and for sharing that. This evening, we're very pleased to have with us a number of honored guests. They are His Worship Mayor John Tory, Councillor Ainsley, Councillor Bradford, Councillor Lay, Councillor Mantis, Councillor Nunziata, Councillor Wong Tam, Jill Andrew, MPP for Toronto St. Paul's, our Police Chief James Raymer, and Deputy Police Chief Peter Ewing. Welcome. And thank you for all being here and joining us. This is an exciting evening. Folks have gotten all spiffied up and ready to be here and to be honored. And so thank you everyone for being here in this space and sharing space and holding this important space with us today. We also have with us special guests, several past recipients of the Mayor Safety Awards. I want to make sure we shout them out as well too, because along this story, along this journey, it's because of you that we're still able to celebrate and to acknowledge. So thank you for being here as well. So I'm going to let you know what's going to happen today. We are presenting 6 awards to well-deserving youth and community organizations. Each winner will receive a trophy, a commemorative certificate, and $1,000 from Bell, who's been a sponsor of this event since 2004. This contribution is going to enable additional work, additional support to what they're doing locally in their community and improving community safety. Award recipients were selected by a committee that included youth, community residents, and representatives from Bell, Toronto Police Services, and the City of Toronto. So by no means an easy job. So I thank that panel. I know that you put in a lot of work to make these decisions. So we had over 30, I think 40 applications and submissions, which is amazing. And so not an easy job, I'm sure. But I know all the tensions are building. We're wondering what's going to happen and who it's going to be. So I'll try not to delay any further. I'll take the time and take my pleasure in welcoming His Worship Mayor John Tory to speak and present our first 2 awards.
Serena, thank you very much. And may I just add my words of thanks to what Serena just said to all the partners involved in this. First of all, our city staff who helped to organize all of this, Serena and Ananina and all the others. And secondly, all the other partners in this. There are many, including Bell, who you've heard generously sponsor so that we can give not just a recognition, which is the most important thing in its own way, but also some tangible help with the work that these groups and individuals are carrying on. And of course, our friends from the Toronto Police Service and the role that they play in working as partners in community safety as well. You know, and I want to, by the way, acknowledge that my colleagues in elected office who were previously introduced to you are all here, especially my city council colleagues, but also those from other orders of government. You know, the word partnership has been used a lot already today, and I think we've been moving in a very positive direction. I think a lot of the winners today, and those nominated too, by the way, are proving that we can get more done. You know, there have been people in the policing circles who themselves have said that we're not going to arrest our way to community safety, and it's true. They'd be the first to acknowledge that, the people on the Toronto Police Service, and I think we've increasingly been, you know, discovering, and you might well argue that it's later than it should be, and I would agree with you, the notion of us sitting collaboratively at a table together as partners, all the different people who can affect all the different social and economic and other determinants that really determine how we can keep the community safe and give people an opportunity and make sure they don't become marginalized and completely cut off from the rest of the community, and sometimes then drift into areas where they may be counter to what we want to produce in terms of a safe community. And I think that a lot of what's going to be demonstrated in the award winners and the nominees today, and something that we're increasingly adopting. I think you'll see tomorrow at the executive committee of the city, there's discussed something that is called the Safe TO Plan. And it's a high level look at a plan that really centers itself entirely not on one group or another, not on the police or not on the social services agencies of the city or the Toronto Community Housing Corporation or any particular community group, but rather says everybody has to be sitting at the table together in order to produce and to maintain a safe community. And I think that we have seen now with examples like the ones that will be highlighted today, that where people come together and sit together and work together at a table or anywhere else in the community, you are going to get a better result in terms of the context of producing a safe community and maintaining a safe community. And so the Mayor's Awards are an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the innovative ways that Toronto residents are coming together to develop projects and initiatives that are helping us to build safer communities and address some of the many issues, because of course it isn't a simple matter of people who choose to follow the law and those who don't, or people who fall on the wrong side of the law or those who don't. It is a very complex series of contributing factors that cause sometimes for people to end up in activity that threatens community safety, or for the community itself to just end up in an unsafe manner. It's also an opportunity for us through the generosity of Bell and just through recognition to support grassroots initiatives. One of the other things you learn, we've learned it so much in the pandemic, where, you know, when you've looked at how we've cared for some of our most vulnerable residents, it has not been by great big sort of government programs that come from the top. Yes, the money has to come from there, but what we've done with that money in many cases is to fund very local organizations that people trust, who know their neighborhoods best, who know the people best, who know what to do with different groups of people best in order to support them. And we found that that model has worked very well. And there's no reason why that should be any different, because it's not, when it comes to making sure that you have a safe community. And you know what these initiatives do is not only contribute to that safe community, but they also inspire others to hopefully start initiatives like the ones that are being honored here tonight, either through an honorable mention or through a win. And so on behalf of all the members of Toronto City Council, the ones present and those who are not able to be here tonight, I want to thank all of the winners and all of the honorable mentions and those who submitted nominations, and congratulate them all for being involved in all of the many different kinds of work that are involved in keeping a community safe. And I want you to know that I am equally committed to keeping the community safe. And I learned by listening to stories like the ones I'm familiar with, the first award that I'll introduce because I know the organization, others not so much, but I learn when I listen and when I hear of their work and understand what they're doing on that basis, where they are known and they are trusted in local communities by and large, or by particular groups of Torontonians, and are therefore are the best positioned to keep people safe. The award is one of the many ways in which we're working with communities that have been affected by violence and by activities that are not safe, and to honor the organizations that are on the ground doing this incredibly important work. And we will continue with that work, and we will continue and expand. You'll hear me talk about this tomorrow, these partnerships, because they work. Plain and simple, they work. Collaboration, cooperation, consultation with local people about local matters and local communities works better than other models that we found before. And I want you to know that having even come later than perhaps might have been the case to that conclusion, which doesn't see any one organization in charge of safety at all, but rather sees it as a collective effort, we're going to step up the pace at which we adopt that kind of approach to make sure that we can invest in and keep communities safe. I just want you all to know that you are doing really important, really impactful work that is already making a difference on keeping communities safer. That's why you're being honored. We want the honor to thank you for what you have done and to help facilitate future work going forward. But we also want it to stand as a shining example to other communities across the city who can look to you as an example of what can be done and what should be done in community after community. So now it is time to get to the awards, and I think I'm to move right into that and talk to you about the first award winner, if I may. It is my pleasure to introduce the first award winner of the night, an organization that is called Mending the Crack in the Sky. This is not an organization that I've just read about in my notes for the first time. In fact, I have had the opportunity not just to see them come to the police board very forthrightly and very courageously to talk about what needed to be done and to talk about partnership with the police board, which is the organization that oversees the activities of the police. But beyond that, which was a step forward in and of itself, that an organization would come from the grassroots to sit down with the police board and forge a partnership, I've also had a chance to sit with this organization myself and get what I can assure you is incredibly direct, incredibly frank advice with respect to what needs to be done to support, in this case, mainly their children, children meaning their offspring, because a lot of them aren't children anymore, they're young adults. And to make sure that we understand better in the city government our role to play in that. But I will tell you that concern for their offspring is put in a way that, yes, is direct and is very direct to us in the governments, but it is also put in a very loving way. In fact, more of a loving way than I possibly could describe to you in terms of the caring that particularly moms have, because it's particularly moms that make up the bulk of this organization. They have developed a peer-to-peer crisis support model, which makes sure that the victims of gun violence are given support and access to more resources that can come from the city or from a variety of places. They do what amounts to that kind of background and coordinating work to make sure that the people have access to those resources. They have forged successfully, as I mentioned, a partnership with the Toronto Police Service, and this has been fundamental to their ability to be effective. And they've also forged similar partnerships with Toronto Community Housing, with a number of other groups in order to address head-on the issue that has so negatively affected the Somali community. A wonderful community. If you've had a chance to get to know them, if you haven't, you should, because they're warm, enthusiastic, good people, good citizens who have much to offer, but have had more than their share of heartbreak and trauma caused by some violence that has affected some of their young people. So Mending a Crack in the Sky encourages other residents to be a part of building an overall safety plan in partnership with others, and works with all of those partners then get the most out of the community in terms of the resources they need to get that job done. We're now going to watch a short video to see some of the amazing work that Mending a Crack in the Sky does, followed by some remarks from a representative of Mending a Crack in the Sky organization itself. So let's roll that video.
We need you to understand the pain we go through every time one of you is shot. We know you have a potential to make a better choice in life.
We want you to know that we care and love you unconditionally. We are talking to our youth and boys. We know that you're smart and brave and have the potentiality to achieve your goals.
We want you to know that we feel your pain and agony. We want you to help us help you.
We want you to be safe, and we want to stop the violence.
It's not normal that we beg our
almost every day. It's not normal. We don't want it to be normal. Let us work together as one to eradicate violence in our community.
It's not normal that you have to hide in order to be. We want you to be able to go outside without any fear.
We pray to never see you behind bars or under the ground as long as we live. We want to see you as groups one day with success.
We plead with you, our son. We are pleading for change.
We are the Hoyos and we are crying every day. We are not sleeping. We are stressed just because of you guys. Please help us so that we can help you. Stop the violence. Stop the violence. Thank you.
And a very wise proverb it is, if people come together, they can mend a crack in the sky. They can do anything. And I think it is now time to hear from a representative of the organization. And I trust from looking at the screen in front of me, it's Shamso Elmi. And I welcome you and congratulate you and thank you so sincerely from the bottom of my heart as mayor, but from the bottom of the hearts of all the people here for this work that you're doing and for this recognition that you are receiving today so deservedly. So over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I would like to begin my thanking for Mayor's Office for this award. My name is Shamsa Elmi, and I'm one of the founder of Mending the Crack on the Sky. I'm happy and I'm very proud to be able to accept this award on behalf of all the mothers of MCIS initiative who made our work possible. In 2015, the initiative started as a mean of healing for mothers who had lost their children as a result of gun violence, and it's a lasting impact on family in Greater Toronto area. When we begin this initiative, I felt in my heart that it will be an instrument necessary in our community. As you can imagine, there were a moment of this process that the challenge seemed too great to tackle. However, by remaining true to the very mantra MCIS stand on, that if we come together, we can even mend the crack on the sky, which help propel us to continuing on. It is evidence that through the creation of safe space where we as mothers are able to freely vocalize our community concern, we were able to establish an unbreakable bond, long issue plaguing our youth. It is through this process that MCIS developed meaningful healing circle with intention for engaging, mobilizing, and responsible for crisis. MCIS is a leader in community activities, outreaching, transformation, community change through the awareness campaign. These accomplishments could not be possible without the commitment, hard work, and dedication of the mothers, Migrant staff, Somali Immigrant Aid, partnership, volunteers, and broader community. It is a heartwarming to be one of the recipients of the Mayor's Community Safety Award because it's a serve to recognize our contribution to address an issue of youth gun violence in the city of Toronto, especially in Northwest Toronto, and of the change our work has brought about. While we are very happy to accept the award, we have to be clear, we are far from done. And yet, MCIS work is far from complete, and we will continue to support our goal to combat gun violence, to work through the safe community. Thank you very much.
Very well spoken, Shamsi. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you again for the work and congratulations again. I can tell you that any of you that have the chance to go and meet with the mothers in the Somali community, whether it's mothers who particularly are the founders and supporters of Mending a Crack in the Sky, or others, will see their incredible commitment and passion for doing all the things they talked about in the video. And one thing I can tell you that's even better is if they invite you to come and have dinner with them, because if you haven't had Somali food, you should. Your life is not complete until you've eaten some of the Somali food and had some of the hospitality of the Somali community. So
thank you for the rice and we will invite you rice and chicken. Thank you.
okay, thank you very much, Shanti. The second award of the night goes to the Afghan Youth Engagement and Development Initiative. The Afghan Youth Mentorship Program, developed by the Afghan Youth Engagement and Development Initiative, serves ethnocultural and racialized minorities, newcomers, refugees, and most vulnerable population youth from some of our lower income neighborhoods. Through the mentorship program, participants increase their ability to pursue higher education and employment, and thereby providing people with an opportunity themselves to exit social assistance and to stay on a good path going forward. You know, it's interesting how these things all tie together, because when I first met with the Somali moms, they said to me, you know, John, we've done all the right things to try to keep our kids to stay in school and to try to support them as they stay in school and so on. And yet somehow things haven't ended up the way that it was promised by the system to say, well, if you stay in school, there's going to be great promise for you. And it's sometimes that little extra bit of support, that mentorship that is being provided by an organization like the Afghan Youth Engagement and Development Initiative to make sure that that formula for success, which is going to work most of the time, is actually going to work for people who may have a little extra struggle. And so that's why these programs are so incredibly important. The program's goal is to build social and emotional wellness and instill knowledge sharing among those who are participating, but of course also among the mentors, because I found in the times when I've been a mentor, I frankly think I learned more than the person I was supposed to be mentoring. And it's just so important all the way around in terms of building a strong community. And I think the other thing it builds is self-confidence. Self-confidence. A lot of the times, especially when you come from a marginalized community, and I can't say this coming from a privileged background, but I've learned it, that, you know, you're lacking in that little bit of self-confidence because you think people perceive you in a certain way. And sometimes it's just that little extra boost from an organization like this that gets you to be all you can be. And as well, it helps in creating safe spaces so that people can discuss issues where they may not have a place to discuss it. I've been, again, invited and been privileged to sit in some of these groups and listen to people. And I think, well, wouldn't they head somewhere else, maybe talk about that? And the answer is no. In some cases, they don't. But those spaces are created by an organization like this. And all of these things contribute, in the end, to a healthier, safer community. Here's a video that showcases some of their work, and then we'll hear from a representative of their organization to say a few words in accepting this much deserved award.
Some Afghan youth in Toronto face barriers to accessing higher education and exiting social assistance. Afghan youth males in some areas tend to be vulnerable to involvement in adverse social behaviors. Afghan Youth Engagement and Development Initiative, or IED, is a nonpartisan group of 13 Afghan youth from various walks of life who came together to develop the Afghan Youth Mentorship Program. The goal was to increase the ability of 15 Afghan youth between the ages of 15 to 22 years old to achieve resilience, pursue higher education and employment opportunities, improve access to Afghan Canadian mentors, and promote social and emotional wellness by providing safe spaces for Afghan youth to discuss issues unique to our community. The 15 Afghan youth mentees were paired with 15 adult Afghan mentors who are community leaders and professionals with lived experiences similar to the youth. They met on a monthly basis and underwent group mentorship sessions that explored themes such as teamwork, leadership, communication, resume and interview skills, mental health, self-esteem, and goal setting. The program was community and Afghan youth-led, and it centered the Afghan identity. The impact of the program was overwhelmingly positive. Participants reported developing lifelong bonds, increased motivation to pursue their full potential, and a stronger sense of belonging in our community and indeed in Canadian society. The program was funded through the city's I&I grant program and is dedicated to Safiullah Khosrawi, a 15-year-old male who tragically died after being caught in the midst of gun violence in East Scarborough in January 2020.
Again, that gives you some idea of the wonderful work being done. And I can just, again, tell you, one of the great privileges of my job is you get to know just about every community and meet the people who make it up. And the Afghani community, these are lovely, gentle people who are making such a huge contribution. And they came from, in some cases, unspeakable circumstances to choose to come and live in our city. And they've had some struggles there too, as the organization is trying to help some people deal with and give them some support. And we have the great privilege of having here today Khalida Nasri to speak on behalf of the organization. Khalida, thank you. Congratulations. We're grateful for what you do, and we commend you for doing it in such a way that you got recognized with this award. So on to you.
Thank you, Mary John Tory, for the kind words. My name is Khalida Nasri, and on behalf of the Afghan Youth Engagement and Development Initiative, ID, I am so honored to accept the 2021 Mayor's Community Safety Award in recognition of our Afghan Youth Mentorship Program. Our work in this program in our organization is centered on recognizing that Toronto has a significant Afghan population. It's a population that faces multiple complex challenges, but is also incredibly resilient. Our program represents the importance of intergenerational mentorship, providing culturally sensitive platforms for youth, and the impact of social inclusion and access to resources on youth development and community safety. We dedicated our mentorship program to Safiullah Khosrawi. Safi was a 15-year-old Afghan male who was shot and killed after being caught in gun violence in East Scarborough. He was my family friend, and I watched him grow up. He was innocent, and he was simply walking home from school. He was just 1 minute away from home. Investing in Toronto's youth and communities is so important to prevent tragic incidents like this from happening. This program would not be possible without our generous mentors, the ID team, our program partners, including the neighborhood group, and our program youth. I thank my City Councillor Paul Ainsley for being here today, and we thank the City and Bell once again for recognizing the importance of youth-led initiatives in promoting safety in our local communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Tory, for introducing these first two awards, and congratulations again to both Mending, A Crack in the Sky and IED. Outstanding groups doing amazing, outstanding work. And like the mayor mentioned, we're learning today as well too about all the great pieces that are happening across our city. So we've just got started, zoning the first two awards. So get comfortable, get some water, put your feet up even if you need to, because it's about to get even better. Right now, it's a great pleasure of mine to introduce our keynote speaker. I've had the honor of knowing her for quite some time. I'm not going to tell you how many years, I'm going to date myself. But through her great hard work, I've really grown to know her and respect her, and I know her community does as well too. A former recipient themselves, Angela Brackett, the founder from Renown All-Star Coalition. The All-Star Community Outreach Program began in 2008, following an incident of gun violence in the Mornell Court community that took the life of a 17-year-old teenager. Since then, the group has created a Safe Walk program where parents and police officers from 43 Division walk students from school and to their activities. The group also hosts after-school programs, summer break, March break programming to keep children active, healthy, and safe outside of school. Their mission is to help lessen the activity and effects of gun violence while bringing peace back to community members. It's my true honor to bring to you Angela Brackett.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here with you tonight to celebrate our amazing community champion. My name is Angela, and I'm the founder of the Mornell All-Star Coalition located in the Mornell Court community. We started in 2008 after there was an horrific shooting within our community that took the life of a 17-year-old young man. The need to make a difference to me was greater than sitting back and not doing anything about it. I came up with an idea but did not know how I was going to execute this idea because children weren't going to school. People were afraid to walk in the community. It was such a devastation in the community. So I came up with an idea to start a Safe Walk program. With the help of the Community Crisis Response, I was able to start our Safe Walk program. During this time, we saw that program grew from 20 children to over 100 children within the space of 2 months. We also received a letter from the school stating to us that attendance was up, that children were coming to school happier, and that everything was so different. Parents gradually start coming out. They start walking because we were there in the community and we were doing this work. They gradually start coming out and walking their kids also. Once we saw the program just growing and blossoming, we realized that there was more things that we could do in our community. So we started an after-school program, which we saw 43 children on a daily basis coming in for the after-school program. After that, we started a March break camp. For her first March break camp, we had 79 children in that program. We started a summer program. In our summer camp, we have over 100 children in our summer camp. We also work with the youth, so we have a youth program. We have a seniors program where we provide seniors exercise, also seniors arts and craft. For the adults, we also have workshops. So we have a CPR workshop, we have food handlers permit, we have Smart Serve. We also have resume writing. We also work with other agencies to bring in legal service and also a furniture bank if that's what needed. We have been championing our community, developing our community, and making a difference with our community. We are all volunteers. We have also saw mothers that were volunteering with us, went back to school, graduated, and are now working as social worker. One of the stories that I liked the most was a young man that came to us the other day and told us that he's now a police officer. He also explained to us the reason why he became a police officer was because of the program. He was in our program from the first inception. And because of what we're doing, he said that brought forth a passion within him and he wanted to make a difference. So he went to school and now he's a police officer. These are just a few of the amazing things that we have seen because of the work that we're doing within our community. You can also make that difference. You can also develop your community. You can also change a life. You can also impact your community. We're not just working in Mornell Court. We're also working with other community around about us. We're also helping them to bring the same services that we have in Mornell and also to bring an impact in their community and to make a change in their community. We're also helping them to stand up to say, you know what, those that are coming in with violence, those that are coming in with guns, with drugs, prostitution, whatever it is that they're coming in, that they are not wanted, they're not welcome. Community residents have that power. They have that authority to stand up because that is their community. You have that authority. You have that power. All you need is commitment. All you need is a mission. All you need is a vision. All you need is passion. And if you have that passion and that vision, you're able to do amazing things. This year, we're celebrating our 13th year, and we are volunteers. We don't get paid to do what we do. We don't get grants. We're just working because we believe in what we're doing, and we believe that we can make an impact, and we believe that we can make a difference. And I also believe that you're able to make an impact. You're able to make a difference. You're able to change lives because we have seen lives change as our lives have changed too, because we stand up and say, this is our community. This is our community. And we believe in the work that we're doing. Thank you very much. And I appreciate you. And I'm so thankful for the work that you're doing.
Thank you, Angela. It's so wonderful to see you. I know we're still in this virtual world, but it's so wonderful to see you and see how the program is continuing to grow, and your flock and your fold is growing with you as well too. And it's just amazing. I'm not surprised how amazing it is going. But thank you for being here and sharing that and the inspiration that you're giving to others to do the same and then some. So thank you. I'd like to take a moment just to remind folks who might have missed it in the beginning that the topic tonight is around how we are responding to what's impacting our community violence, and different forms of violence. Some of this is impactful by seeing and hearing and may impact you personally. And if you do need support and you would like to reach out to someone, there is some information that we are providing to you tonight on screen that you can use. You can call out to 211, which gives you a variety of resources that are available 24/7. You can also call our youth peer support line. And then you can also text connect with our kids helpline as well. So please feel free to connect, or even just take a pause, take a drink, and take a breath and rejoin us when you can. Right now, I'd like to take a moment to introduce Lena Demarco. Lena is Regional Director, Community Relations for Bell, the country's largest communications company, and also supports the Bell Let's Talk campaign. She's responsible for stakeholder relations and special events throughout the Greater Toronto Halton area and Southwestern Ontario. Lena works closely with community partners to deliver a wide range of signature events, public relations initiatives, and community-based fundraising activities. She's also the single point of contact along with her team within Bell for numerous stakeholders and organizations. Lena will offer us some remarks and present our next 2 awards.
Thank you, Serena, for the introduction. It is my pleasure to be here today in what is hopefully our last virtual celebration of this important event. For nearly 20 years, the Mayor's Community Safety Awards have recognized the outstanding projects that contribute to community safety in Toronto. Bell has been proud to be a sponsor since the beginning, celebrating innovative, Toronto-based and resident-led projects that build our safer communities in which we live and work in. I want to take this opportunity to thank Mayor Tory and all our elected officials, along with the community organizations and individuals here today for your hard work and dedication during what was likely your most challenging year during a global pandemic. At Bell, we have been committed to doing our part to help Canadians as an essential service during COVID-19. We have also continued to support communities with further funding towards our mental health campaigns during the pandemic through our Bell Let's Talk initiative, providing an additional $5 million. As the pandemic restrictions eventually lift and society begins to return to the new normal, it is important for us to continue to be there for our community. We applaud the outstanding projects presented here today that contribute to community safety in Toronto that will receive funding to support their innovative approaches to addressing safety. They say that true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. The Mayor's Community Safety Award demonstrates what a caring, inclusive, and helpful society we live in, and strongly aligns with our mission of promoting the LGBTQ community, reconciliation with our Indigenous communities, and supporting the towns and cities we operate in. We are proud to continue our sponsorship, promoting safety and violence prevention in Toronto. Congratulations to all the winners of the Community Safety Awards this year. And now I have the honor of introducing our next award winner, Reclaim Your Voice. Reclaim Your Voice is a survivor-led organization that offers safe spaces where people who have experienced abuse and sexual violence can work through their trauma. By providing these safe spaces, participants feel less isolated in their journeys and empowered to continue with their healing. The group looks for opportunities to introduce the openness of speaking about abuse and sexual violence in spaces where it was not usually discussed. Reclaim Your Voice has visited post-secondary institutions in Toronto as staff have recognized the value in providing students access to survival-led initiatives. Here is a short video that highlights their work, followed by remarks from the representative, Jungle Flower.
My name is Jungle Flower and my pronouns are she and her. I started Reclaim Your Voice in 2012 after escaping a psychologically abusive relationship. I was abused for 3 years, but even after escaping him, I spent another 13 years living in fear because he continued to stalk me. He warned me that if I called the police, they wouldn't be there to protect me 24/7. A restraining order would have only enraged him further, and he said he would send people to come for me if I got him arrested. Because involving the police would have put me at further risk, I was plagued by an overwhelming sense of powerlessness and injustice. And for me, the solution came in creating Reclaim Your Voice. This is a space cultivated by community and designed specifically to help people who have experienced trauma establish a personal sense of safety, and in its impact, I have found my justice. Living in fear for 16 years destroyed my sense of safety in this world and led to a breakdown. Lack of safety wreaks havoc on mental health and puts people in survival mode, doing whatever they can to establish a sense of safety within themselves. These choices may not always seem rational to people observing from the outside, because for some, seeking safety might mean fleeing home. It might mean choosing substances as a way to escape the agony of trauma. It might mean living in the street, and if living in the street is someone's safest choice, imagine how unsafe and few their other options are. It is deeply concerning that people in our city whose haven was the unquestioning acceptance of the grass they encamped on were recently met with violence by the state instead of being met with the care and support they deserved. As we continue forward, I urge our elected officials to recognize that the level of safety in a city is determined by how it treats its most vulnerable citizens.
Hello, I just wanted to say a few words. I want to thank you so much for this acknowledgement, and I'd also like to commend the other recipients of this award for the important work that they're doing. Reclaim Your Voice was created in the name of peace and healing for all. We host free events where people who've experienced various forms of abuse and sexual violence can gently work through their trauma while experiencing the healing benefits of community and connection. Our intention is to help people establish a sense of safety because trauma so deeply disrupts one's sense of safety. We do this work lovingly and joyfully, but admittedly, it often feels like an uphill battle because so many of us continue to feel unsafe here. We live under the constant threat of sexual assault, child abuse, domestic violence, poverty, food insecurity, houselessness, police brutality, and more. The people of the city have wonderful, brilliant, and beautiful minds, but so much of this greatness may never have a chance to be seen because many of us are living in survival mode and don't have the space to think beyond that. As the world awakens the treatment of the Indigenous peoples of this land, all eyes are on us. And I hope in the future we become known as a place where all who live here have access to housing, to clean water, to nutritious food, to education, to justice, and at the very least, to that most basic of human needs, safety. May we all be free from suffering. May we all be lacking nothing. May we all be held in community. May we all be peaceful, and may we all be safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Jungle Flower. For our fourth award, I am honored to present to the youth of East York. Youth of East York came together to address concerns in the community through their youth-led and youth-driven initiatives, such as forums to address the presence and the impact of racism, and the increased violence in the community impacting youth. They have uniquely tailored and blended social media, personal engagement, podcasts, and online forums to engage on multiple issues and concerns for youth. The youth team are dedicated to building and demonstrating their capacity by receiving input to then bring back to their community to inform and mobilize youth networks across the community. After this video, highlighting their work, we'll hear from Almira Ahmed.
We are Youth of East York.
We are Youth of East York.
We are Youth of East York.
Youth of East York is a youth-led organization that aims to empower youth in the Thorncliffe and Fomenta Park communities.
One of the first initiatives we developed was referred to as the Elephant in the Room Addressing Community Violence Project, which was in response to the rise of gun violence in our community.
Through an event session and ARA writing contests, this project allowed for an opportunity for youth participants to share their perspectives regarding community violence and process their emotions while simultaneously empowering and encouraging the youth participants to create a positive change in the community.
Since then, the team has taken it upon themselves to plan and execute a Spring Wellness Series project to address the mental health stigma in the community, provide a platform for youth to safely socialize during the pandemic. as well as hold multiple post-secondary advice events to help youth unlock their full potential by understanding the different aspects of post-secondary life, career choices, and scholarship advice.
And this year, our team will be holding a summer environmental stewardship series project to foster youth leadership in the maintenance of natural assets in our community. And the youth participants get to identify ways to safely engage in these natural spaces.
The vibrant and beautifully diverse communities of Thorncliffe and Flemington Park are often depicted as marginalized communities in the media, but there is so much more to us than that. We are a resilient community with hopes, dreams, and the right to health and happiness as much as any other community.
We will continue to make our community a better place, learn and grow.
And we thank everyone who supported us through this journey. We would not be where we are without you.
We are extremely honored to be receiving the Mayor's Community Safety Award and thank the City of Toronto, Bell, and Toronto Police Service for this recognition of our work, and thank Darcy McCallum for this nomination.
Thank you, Almira Ahmed. Thank you.
Our team is extremely honored to be receiving the Mayor's Community Safety Award and are grateful towards the City of Toronto, Bell, and Toronto Police Service for this recognition of our work. As a youth-led group that sprung to life only a year ago, this is a huge milestone for us. Thank you, Darcy McCullum, again for nominating us, and we thank everyone who has supported us in this journey and has believed in us in the power of youth voices. We would not be here without you. I also want to give my deepest gratitude to my team. These amazing youth leaders have made the last year an amazing experience, and I'm certain there's only good things waiting for the team in the future. We are Youth of East York, and we're only getting started. Thank you.
There are many questions in life that are unanswerable. In a moment, I will ask you one of them. I need you to answer me honestly. How many birthdays will you have? Just take a moment and really think about it. How many birthdays will you have? I'd love to tell you that we have as many birthdays as our minds can fathom numbers, but the truth of the matter is, we can never truly know. So, in the unknown, make known your love for others. Hold your friends close, closer than your favorite blanket, the one you used to build mighty fortresses with, protecting you from the monsters. Hide beneath its dark comfort. While you're under there, find those who can walk with you in the darkness. They will be the only weapons you'll ever need. When whole days feel like broken nights, your hands become your eyes. You, a creature from Pan's labyrinth, navigates the darkness, reaching out just to see if you can feel something. Cherish everything. From long drives on open highways to long lines at the DMV, treat both as if it were the last time you'd experience it. Because it could be. Because she'd never know that you love her if you don't tell her. So tell her everything you admire about her. The way her eyes flicker in fascination of the constellations, 'cause when they're facing you, you see galaxies, light years, a lifetime. She'll never know what the future can hold if you don't tell her. So tell her, today, fight the urge to slip back into the cycle of taking things for granted, because when we forget to appreciate life, death reminds us. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. You hear that? The universe. She whispers. forth, life and death play tug of war on your chest. Do you realize they could have dropped the rope yesterday? Today is still up for discussion, and tomorrow, well, tomorrow was never promised. You see, living is a privilege, so live like it. Instead of counting your days, make them count like a tombstone. Life is a dash to death, so walk. Have you found an answer yet? The question suspended mid-air like tension on gym rings, like tension on trampoline springs, like tension on balance beams. You have been jumping through hoops, trying to please people only there to judge you. So how many birthdays will you have to live on the sidelines? How many birthdays will you have to be unhappy? How many birthdays will you have to finally give yourself a chance to live? New question. In death, will you know the taste of satisfaction? Or will you know the taste of regret?
Thank you, Troy Penny, for that beautiful piece. The truth and light that you brought in with what you've shared, to not take anything or anyone for granted and to cherish everything and to make it count. Thank you so much for sharing that. I now wish to invite another important community partner to say a few words and present an award for us tonight. Superintendent Stacy Clarke is currently the unit commander of the Community Partnerships and Engagement Unit. This unit provides expertise on community collaboration and capacity building. The unit places communities at its core function while supporting divisions and units to embrace all levels of partnerships to enhance community safety and security. Superintendent Clarke is currently co-chair of the Police and Community Engagement Review Committee, known as PACER, for the Toronto Police Service. Her diverse policing career has included working in primary and community response units, intelligence, homicide, criminal investigative bureau, professional standards, and the Toronto Police College. She continually communicates her honest belief in the advancement of policing and efforts to reinforce community trust and simultaneously effective policing. I've known Stacy for a long time as well too, so it's my honor, Superintendent Clarke, to have you here and to bring you to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Serena. Good afternoon, Mayor Tory, our honored guests, and of course, members of our communities. Community engagements allow us to develop a greater understanding of our communities. It provides us with an opportunity to open up a larger, more impactful dialogue that aims to uncover the lived experiences of the many people within our city. The Community Partnerships and Engagement Unit provides expertise on community collaboration and capacity building and places communities at its core function while supporting divisions and units to embrace all levels of partnerships to enhance safety and security for everyone. In 2013, the Toronto Police Service modernized community policing with the introduction of the Neighborhood Officer Program. The Neighborhood Community Officer Program is staffed by 176 neighborhood community officers in 38 City of Toronto neighborhoods. Designed to be visible, approachable, and professional, the Neighborhood Community Officer Program is one of the service's greatest success. The Neighborhood Community Officer Program is an integral part of the Toronto Safety and Wellbeing Plan, specifically focusing on community-centric policing and embracing partnerships to find sustainable solutions to community safety and well-being concerns. I am delighted to be participating in this year's Mayor's Community Safety Awards. This is an initiative that not only acknowledges our local community champions and continues to celebrate the good news of our communities. Congratulations to all of the recipients, and thank you for your continued service to our great city. And now it is my honor to present our next award to Aura Freedom International. Aura Freedom International started the Human Trafficking Peer Prevention Project to prevent human trafficking and sexual violence through education and provide survivors anti-oppressive access to services. In just 1 year, Aura delivered presentations in more than 48 youth spaces across Toronto, more than 2,000 participants, and where 28 survivors of sexual exploitation and violence came forward to receiving support. Youth gain knowledge to protect themselves from human trafficking, exploitation, and violence. By collecting data on youth's attitudes and beliefs, Aura has shared these findings with community organizations, government, and police to better understand these issues in an effort to create safer communities and transform lives. We will now view a short video about this organization, followed by remarks from Marissa Kokoros and Asha Dehar.
Aura Freedom has done extensive work in gender-based violence and human trafficking prevention in my hometown of Toronto. Throughout those years, I received ongoing requests for education and training from teachers, students, and frontline workers, demonstrating to me that Toronto youth needed a safe space to talk about gender-based violence and sexual exploitation. We believed the best way to respond was to train and empower youth, survivors, and peers to become facilitators of gender-based violence and human trafficking prevention workshops in their own communities. In 2019, with the support of the City of Toronto, Aura Freedom launched officially the Peer Prevention Project. I truly believe marginalized youth who are ready to contribute to society must be empowered and supported to do so. It is crucial to provide them with the opportunity to make a difference. Not only does it benefit them and their families, but programs for youth are much more powerful when delivered by youth themselves. The Peer Prevention Project brings awareness to and prevents gender-based violence and sexual exploitation in Toronto by advancing equity and focusing on root causes. Asha Dahir was an original member of the Peer Prevention Project and has gone on to become a full-time employee here at Aura Freedom and a crucial part of our management team. To me, Asha has played a huge role in making the project what it is today.
For the Peer Prevention Project, Aura Freedom recruited, trained, and mentored 6 youth who identify as female and have various lived experiences that enhance their ability to communicate to youth and identify those in need of support. A total of 42 people applied for this position, and I was one of those chosen candidates. Not only has the Peer Prevention Project impacted so many youth and community members, but it also has impacted me tremendously. This project became my baby and has shaped me to be the person I am today. From all the amazing youth I've been able to be connected with and to the family I gained from Marissa, Marlena, Massa, Taya, and the team at Aura Freedom. Being a young Black Muslim woman and being in the position to educate young folks has been truly life-changing.
Thank you so much, Stacy, for announcing us for this award. We are overwhelmed with gratitude to have been selected to receive the Mayor's Community Safety Award. We are extremely honored to receive such an important recognition for our human trafficking peer prevention project, something that is so near and dear to our hearts. I'm getting a little emotional. This award is especially meaningful because it shows that our city is paying attention to the importance of education and empowering Toronto's youth to prevent sexual exploitation and human trafficking. It also means a lot because this project is currently unfunded, and we are hoping that funders will take notice and support our grassroots work. This accomplishment is something that we did not do alone. There are many others who deserve to share this award with us today. To our community partners that contributed to this project and provided support, expertise, and more, we thank you. Some of those amazing organizations are Find Help 211, White Ribbon, the 519, Bridget Peer, Alicia White, Cinnamon Maxwell, Nikki Duba, Melissa Compton, Sabrina Murad, FCJ Refugee Center, and Jennifer Fajo. We would also like to give special thanks and recognition to the Toronto Rape Crisis Center, Multicultural Women Against Rape, for being a crucial support for this project. TRCC provided counseling and case management for youth who disclose sexual exploitation, human trafficking, and gender-based violence as a result to our workshop. Thank you. Special thanks to our team member, Olivia, for nominating us. I would also like to thank our youth team members who facilitated the workshops, AKA my second family, Marlena, Massa, Thaisa, Alexandra, and Gina. Thank you. Massa, thank you for your vibrant personality and excellence. Marlena, thank you for your authenticity and passion. Jess, thank you for your knowledge and commitment. Taya, thank you for your amazing storytelling skills and always capturing everyone's attention with your grace. And honorable thanks to our executive director, Marissa Kokoras. Thank you for leading us. Thank you for supporting us. You've brought us all together, and without you, none of this would have been possible, so thank you. I started at Aura Freedom as a youth facilitator, and I'm now a full-time community engagement manager here. My first presentation was alongside Marlena and Taya and Cinnamon from the TRCC at a group home for young girls in Toronto. And as we started to get into the activities, the girls kept mentioning how they've never received a workshop like this before. And I remember feeling sadness and joy at the same time. Sadness because these girls were as young as 12 years old, and I knew just how vulnerable they were to sexual exploitation. I felt joy because of how much these girls loved this workshop and how much they were engaged and the resources and tools we were able to provide to support them. These young girls felt empowered, and it is very hard to traffic an empowered person. That is why we do what we do. Thank you.
That was fabulous. I can't wait to actually clap in person and hear the sounds of claps and you know, do you remember those days? I'm looking forward to those. So I look forward to that. But until then, I share my emoji. And thank you, Stacey, for presenting that award, and congratulations again to Aura Freedom International. It is my now extended pleasure to do another introduction to my director, Anania Ayodele Grant, who's currently the Director of Community Resources at the City of Toronto, leading various community and social development work, including the Community Safety and Wellbeing Unit. In 2018, Anania established North America's first government-sanctioned strategy and permanent office to address anti-Black racism, the Confronting Anti-Black Racism Unit. She was also the lead consultant and integral to the creation of the Toronto Action Plan to confront anti-Black racism. Before joining the municipal government, although Anania was also a great leader, so I want to make sure I mention this too, in leadership development trainer and life coach, consultant for issues within racialized communities, particularly issues of gender and racial equity and African Indigenous practices. Over a decade ago, she founded Sacred Women International and the life-transforming Sacred Leadership Training. So as a public speaker, she's presented to academic, corporate, faith, civil society audiences across Canada, US, Caribbean, and Ghana. So in addition to this, Anania has received multiple awards and accolades, including being named one of the 100 most accomplished Black women, Canadian women in Canada in 2018. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to Anania Grant.
Thank you so very much, Serena. Everyone, I want to first say thanks, Serena. I want to publicly thank you for your deep commitment and leadership of our Community Safety and Wellbeing Unit. We absolutely could not do it without you, and it's an honor to be working alongside with you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the entire team wholeheartedly for the work that you do. As Serena mentioned, I have this great opportunity to be able to provide leadership to the city's community resources section in the Social Development, Finance and Administration Division, where we work to ensure that policies and practices and programs are prioritize community needs in all our responses as we develop and implement social inclusion and community safety agenda for the city, as we promote community engagement, advance life skills opportunities for youth, and foster safe and strong neighborhoods and communities, always with an equity lens and an Indigenous and an anti-Black racism analysis. We are only able to meet any of these goals and make real impacts in community building and development work because of our partnership with community agencies and grassroots organizations such as those being awarded today. The experience and impact of community violence in its various forms is complex, as so many of you know. It is complex indeed, and there is no one intervention, and there is no singular approach or group or institution that can address its complexities and its diversities. Communities requested that we reignite the Mayor's Safety Awards, and I thought there is no better time to do it than now. So I'm so excited, I'm so happy, I'm so delighted that the mayor also agreed to this and that we're able to do this award ceremony today. In community resources, I get to share with the team in repeatedly witnessing the leadership of local champions and grassroots groups, the collaborating, the mobilizing, the organizing, and the outstanding unity as you local champions and grassroots groups to continue to work together for change. And we're here to continue to backbone you. We also continue to see the value of our young people, their voices, and the ability to be agents of change in their own communities. So this year, it was important for us to expand and include an additional 3 awards so that we were able to make sure that we identify youth leadership and champions. And so if I don't get to say this again tonight, I just want to say thank you to all of you. So this evening is an opportunity to recognize, to celebrate. Thank you so much, everyone. All of these amazing organizations. And I'm so proud to be doing this alongside our longstanding community partner, the Toronto Police Services. And you heard from my colleague, Stacy Clarke. And for our sponsor, thank you, Bell, for continuing to sponsor us. So I get to do this honor on behalf of the City of Toronto. I am honored, heartfelt honored, to present our final award. Serena, this is where we would need a drum roll, yes? To Zero Gun Violence Movement. So let me tell you just a little bit about Zero Gun Violence Movement. Zero Gun Violence Movement is an awareness and advocacy movement that works across the city to engage people and organizations that are truly committed to being part of the solution to reducing gun violence and also building safe and healthy communities, not for some, but for all. Most recently, the Zero Gun Violence Movement has collaborated with over 40 different community organizations, agencies, and programs across the city, committed to addressing structural and socioeconomic conditions that contribute to gun violence problems. As a movement, its core call to action and activity is inviting, building, and strengthening partnerships. After this video showcase, which is going to showcase the achievements, we will hear from its leader, Zero Gun Violence leader, Louis Marsh.
Zero Gun Violence Movement was a community initiative created after the Eaton Center shooting. It started out as a 90-day summer initiative to deal with the gun violence and put out a very bold and ambitious objective of zero gun violence in the city of Toronto. A lot of people think it's impossible. However, we made it clear that we already have zero gun violence in the city of Toronto, but it's in certain communities for certain people. So if we can have zero gun violence in Rosedale, why can't we have it in Rexdale? So Zero Gun Violence Movement is about how do we close that gap? How do we make it fair, our city fair and just, not for some, but for all? It was a 90-day summer campaign, but as we started getting involved in community initiatives, we started with 7 community organizations. There were more organizations wanting to partner with us. And right now we have over 40 different organizations, agencies, programs across the city of Toronto, believing that we can do better to address the issue of gun violence. Work with victims of gun violence, that means mothers, families who have lost children to gun violence. We work also with people that are responsible for the violence, people who have done the crime, done the time, and want to make a difference. We do a lot of focus on education and awareness, what's really going on, because gun violence is just one part of a major problem that we have. And addressing gun violence alone is not going to solve it. There's other issues, underlying issues. So we talk about those issues in schools, in community centers, in barbecues. We do a lot of advocacy work with the various levels of government, trying to get them to acknowledge the reality of what's going on, but also how they fund and design programs to address these issues. So our 3 main focuses are education and awareness, advocacy, and engagement. We know where the differences are. We know what the differences are. And that's why our bold and ambitious objective is to challenge the way we do our work today in terms of dealing with this issue. Thank you very much, Ania, for the very powerful introduction. I'd like to thank the city. I'd like to thank TPS and Bell for supporting this very important initiative. I'd like to thank also the recipients that have been recognized today for the incredible work that they are doing to make our city safe, not only for some, but for all. I'd also like to thank my ancestors who paved the way, who taught me and trained me and worked with me. People like Dudley Laws, Charles Roach, who did tremendous work in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s. And I'm glad to see the young people today carrying on this work. Zero gun violence movement started June the 21st, 2013 at Redemption Reintegration Services in Scarborough as a 60-day summer campaign to make a difference dealing with the gun violence issue. The same day that we launched, there were 2 shootings in that area. And CBC phoned and said, Louis, you're talking about zero gun violence, but there's gun violence still taking place right now. And I said, that's why we need to do this work. That's why we need to do this work. So, as stated in the video, our primary objectives are simply 3 things. Education and awareness. What's really going on behind the scenes when it comes to gun violence? As my mentor Dudley Law said to me, nobody's born with a gun in their hand. Understand how the gun got there and why they decided to pick it up, then you can solve the problem. Education and awareness is about telling the full story. And that's what Zero Gun Violence will do in every corner of the city. Our head office is normally Tim Hortons, community centers, subway stations. That's where we do our work. The second piece is about advocacy. How do we get the people, the influencers, to change the way they allocate resources, how they design programs, how they provide funding to have real impact? So we've been to Ottawa. We've spoken to the Prime Minister. We've spoken to the ministers responsible for community safety. Not 1 time, not 2 times, 3 different times, trying to advocate for change. We've been to Queen's Park. We've been to City Hall, advocating to the City Council and Toronto Police Services, public health, to make changes so that we can really have impact. And the third piece that we focus on is engagement. We started off with 7 organizations as a 60-day summer campaign, as a 90-day summer campaign. On day 91, we said, we can't stop now. Because as we started peeling away the issues that were driving the gun violence in our city, we found it bigger and bigger. So 8 years later, we're still going strong. Right now, we have over 40 different organizations, agencies, and programs that believe that we can do different. We can do better. Toronto's an incredible city. We're internationally acclaimed in so many areas. If we're not in the top 10, we are surprised when they do surveys. So when it comes to gun violence, what can we do different? We need to bring our A game, not our Z game, when we're dealing with this. So we work with over 40 different organizations, agencies, and programs. Develop Me Youth, Hope, Keep Six, One by One Movement, Between the Lines, Communities for Zero Violence, Rise Entertainment, Mothers of Peace, Think Twice, Harriet Tubman Community Center, Flip Your Switch, Mornell All-Star Coalition, Mending the Crack in the Sky. We work with organizations like this. So we see the incredible work being done by these organizations. And trust me, if this work was not being done, Toronto would be in a worse state. So that's why I celebrate and I'm thankful for the people that were recognized today, knowing that there's many more out there that are doing incredible work. And that's why I'm thankful for this recognition to Zero Gun Violence movement. I'm thankful for the people also that are making a huge difference. I've got a solid core group of people around me that make sure that we stick to the program. Zero gun violence in our city, not only for some, but for all. They include people like Mello, Danny, Chucky, Ernie, Aisha, Debbie, DT, Jadaman, Brittany, Brooklyn, Aretha. These are people that work 24/7. I can pick up the phone anytime, that believe in this work. I'm also thankful for the city of Toronto for its recent initiatives in bringing all these partnerships together to come up with a concrete strategic action plan. We have a strong collaboration and we know what we can accomplish when we work together. And it's great to see the city adopting that strategy now by bringing all the key stakeholders to the table to address this issue of gun violence, to make it our city not only safe for some, but for all. The first word in community safety is community. And on display today is community in action. And that's inspiring and encouraging. We can do better. We will do better. Because Toronto is an incredible city. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elder Louis March. Thank you. I see a lot of applause. There were additional projects nominated that, although couldn't receive an award, we'd like to recognize as honorable mentions. And they are 440 Winona Tenants Association and Generations Chosen. Bell has kindly awarded these projects $500 each, and we thank them for their work. Here is a video on their work narrated by Marianne Muse from the community peers elevating and extending resources and supports.
Runner-up, Generation Chosen. Generation Chosen serves a large scope of Black communities that are marginalized and underserved. Although their focus is Black youth, they service youth, newcomers, single parents, low-income, LGBTQ+ persons, people with disability, and more to interrupt the cycle and prevent gun violence and crime through education and opportunity for youth in their community. Through openly confronting mental health obstacles, dealing compassionately with harmful emotional tendencies, creating opportunities for educational matriculation, financial self-sufficiency, and meaningful mentorship, they aim to holistically support the development of those most vulnerable in our society and interrupt intergenerational cycles of poverty, disenfranchisement, and trauma.
sustainable communities examples.
Repurposing clothing, making your own clothes out of used fabric, and reducing consumption at fast fashion.
Just circulation throughout the community.
You have the sign there, caution, beware of natives. Can you imagine this is your country? Your family tree is rooted in the soil of this land, and there's a sign up that says to be wary of you.
It made me feel pretty upset because who would want to go through this?
What pushes you to your limits, and what would make you want to fight back?
If anyone degrades me, like how society degrades Black people for no reason, because like we don't choose our colors.
Understand where another person is coming from and relate to them.
Philanthropy makes a lot of assumptions about what people quote unquote need.
We do things for Black community without consulting Black community.
Are we actively canceling ourselves out of the conversation?
We first have to anchor ourselves before we can really think about moving forward.
Runner-up, 440 Winona Tenant Association. 440 Winona Tenant Association is a community safety committee that was created in response to a violent incident that took place in the neighborhood that many tenants found very triggering. These tenants were either survivors of violence in their present lives or from their countries of origin. Following the incident, the 440 Winona Tenant Association has worked to provide a COVID-safe community project to promote emotional healing through counseling and art. The group sessions include participations from a counselor, artist, and a person experienced in supporting community safety committees. The project goes beyond simply asking for more police and relies on tenant communication, strong relations with policymakers, self-help, and strategic use of police resources.
Well, thank you, Anania, for that introduction of both our award recipient and our honorable mentions. Congratulations, everyone. I know that we're all excited to be here, and we've been here so tuned in and just appreciating the space and one another, and didn't even realize where the time went. So they say when you're, having a good time or in a good space, which I think we've all come together to today, we lost some time. So appreciate folks staying with us a few more minutes as we wrap up this ceremony today. And really thankful for all of you being here again for this new way of figuring out how to connect and stay connected. And looking forward to seeing you all in person soon. So in congratulating all the recipients, thank you. Honorable mentions, truly applaud your passion, your resilience, your drive, and your dedication. Thank you for your leadership. We appreciate you. I want to extend some additional thanks for folks that are quite a few people. So I'm going to say it because I need to say it, and I know you'll be with me because you know it's important too. So to our Mayor John Tory, Bell, the Toronto Police Service for your ongoing support and sponsorship of this award, and all those who've been involved in making these awards and ceremony happen. A lot happening in the background, folks. Even when it's virtual, you won't believe if I were to tell you. So. Appreciation for all of these folks that have been working together to make this happen in a new and innovative and contemporary way. Thank you. It's a special thanks to our guests who led us with beautiful end acknowledgements and reflections, our performers, as well as youth from our Community Peers program and our internal working group. Now, this is the hardest working group I've seen. I mean, they all work hard, don't get me wrong. Our youth development unit, our community safety and wellbeing unit, community development unit, our confronting anti-Black racism unit, all have been part of this working group and made this happen today. Thank you to all the staff that have really been pulling together and doing this and really making things happen. And of course, our protocol and communications team, we really couldn't do without them. I'm not tech savvy at all. It would have been a mess. Thank you and so much appreciation for you. I know we've missed the opportunity to gather in our usual ways, but taking nothing for granted, I think we were reminded of that today, especially. We must still make the time to celebrate each other, the significant commitment and resilience and good that is in our communities across the city, and not only the communities, but the people in the community. So today was an important day for that and for each of you. This year, more than ever, has taught us the true value of community and supporting one another and those who are most vulnerable. Let's continue to drive that passion and do that work together. We want to leave with a few key updates, and we're going to wrap this up. So you can, I don't know if you had on shoes, you can kick off your shoes. If you had heels, whatever you have on, you can relax in a few minutes. We want to leave you with a few key updates that are going to be really important. One is a July 8th, so this week, we have our 6th annual Community Safety Network Forum virtually. You can go on our website and get more information. The theme this year is community mobilization, so highlighting examples of youth and community-led local approaches to addressing issues of community safety and violence. We are having it facilitated and hosted by Abdi Hussain, co-founder of Hidayah House. So if you don't know him, come and see. He's fabulous. If you do, you know what I'm talking about. So that's coming up this week as well. What we're going to end off on is a video for you to see around some of resources that's available to community. We want to share with you the city's Community Crisis Response Fund. This supports communities impacted by a violent incident and gets access up to $5,000 for community healing and capacity building. Initiatives and activities designed by community for community. We'll close off our evening with a look at this video with more details. It's going to give you some insight, so you can get a pen and paper if you want. You can also go on our website and get more information. But we'll leave this with you to see. Thank you all again. Stay healthy, stay safe, and have a great evening.
The Community Crisis Response Program, Community Crisis Response Fund, also known as CCRF, is available to support communities impacted by traumatic incidents of community violence. This includes shootings, shots fired, stabbings, and gang-related activity. The fund is meant to provide one-time financial assistance to impacted communities to deliver projects that promote community healing and capacity building. What's new? 1. The Community Crisis Response Fund is now available in 2 streams: general applications and youth-led projects. 2. Applicants can now apply for up to $5,000 in funding towards their well-being and safety project. 3. Applicants now have 3 months to apply from the day the incident occurred. Please contact your local CCRP Community Development Officer or visit www.toronto.ca/CCRP for more information.